Alright, boys and girls, went and found a 8,500 pound winch on Craigslist for a couple $100. Runs good. Kid needs a little extra cash. Needs some work. The wire's off the drum, there's no hold down for the cable. We'll be doing that later, but what we're doing today is modifying the bumper to fit a winch. Essentially, I just had a 2" by 5" piece of box steel that I sort of made this out of with some 2x2. And essentially today what we're going to do, we're going to try and bend this back, but this was hitting a tree pretty fast. You can see it didn't break where the weld was. It actually broke the metal behind it. So I know the welds will hold, so it's a little crooked. But I think today, got some angle iron. May look familiar with some of the rust testing. I got some extra of that, and it's real thick. It's at least a quarter. So we're gonna have the welder as high as it'll go, and see if I can get some penetration on there. Bought some grade 8 bolts. I've modified the front here to accept not just my 2 bolts that go through the frame up there, but we're gonna run a bolt straight through with some big old fat washers, grade 8. So I'll have both lateral and torsional grade 8 essentially bolts holding everything together on here. And that's about it. We're going to get these together as a mount on there. I'm actually going to weld those to this plate, and this plate is 3/16, pretty thick stuff. Same stuff I made the battery box out of. And we're going to weld that as a plate. Then I'm going to get it drilled up to the winch, and I'll just take you along as we go. Alrighty, I'm going to take you in the light here. Starting to lose light early these days. Here's what I got. 2 brackets. I drilled holes and then I countersunk the holes so I have a little bit more space to spot fill them. Got it tacked across the front, seamed up on both ends, stitched across the back, and then the same holes on the back. And because my bumper, let's see if I can get it in the light here. These 4 holes will mount on the bottom. The winch will mount into here. This will slide right on top. Alrighty, got the bumper here. Essentially what I created is a track with the 2 L brackets. That slides right on top. Alright, with some light, you can kind of see I've already had it mounted to the winch, had the winch up there, and determined the best spot, because essentially winches aren't perfectly centered, which I didn't realize, which is kind of the reason I didn't build a bumper until I actually had a winch in my hand. So I've marked where it needs to be so that it can fit under here. I might have to tweak these bars. It's just a little bit too small, or I may relocate the solenoid for them. But we're gonna prep up the bumper behind here, and then burn in our plug welds, and then I'll come around and stitch the outside on both sides. And essentially what that's given me is I was gonna build the bumper out a little bit deeper, but this gives me a nice winch plate, and I don't have to sacrifice, you know, my clearance and stuff. So that's what we got so far. We'll get her all finished up here probably tomorrow. We get a little more daylight, and put her on, see how it works. Alright, we're getting her welded on there. Actually some pretty good welds when I get to play with thick metal. I'll take you out here and show you how frosty she is out here. We got a high of 9 degrees. Show you my snowman. Still waiting for the snow. It sure is chilly. Camera can't see any of that. It's a little frosty out there. Alright, let's take a look. Looks like there's some pretty decent welding going on here tonight. Got plug welds up top. See if I can go to low. It's almost too bright. This little stitch weld in action. Not too shabby, but hoping to get penetration. It's as hot as that welder will go. Old classic country on the radio, and you know you're living in a country town when they give you a NASCAR update on the radio. Well, not perfect, but they're getting better. Not too shabby. So we got plug welds, a stitch on the back. Trick I learned a long time ago from a friend of mine is when you're using this hammerite that has like the extra, I guess, hardener epoxy in them, whatever you want to call it. If you're welding on something, go ahead and spray it. You can see it kind of smoke off there a little bit. Go ahead and spray it when the metal is real hot, and it'll almost cure on there. And I'm telling you, it works pretty slick. You don't really breathe in the little fumes that pop off there, but it really almost bakes the hammerite finish on there, and it turns out real nice, real smooth, and it lasts longer. Problem is heating up things that you're painting isn't always easily available. So we're going to get this upright and test fit the winch again to make sure everything's cool. I did do a couple marks here where I was getting some close tolerances, and up on this corner, and if that's true, I'll probably wait till tomorrow to cut those out, just because grinder makes a lot of noise. Don't want to upset the neighbors or anything. So we'll get that test fitted. I'll take a picture. Alright, we got it test fitted all on here. I just have some other bolts on there. We're about to put some grade 8 through the frame there, and like I said before, I don't have a fairing for the winch to go through, so this will be only for emergencies until I get that. But we'll build this up in front, put a fairing on there, and then I'll probably build this at an angle down here, so I can still leave the side open so I can still access the bolts there, but that way there's a little more guard, a little more stability, and a little more anchoring strength. But she's looking good. Alright, we got her installed. I soldered a new brass end on here because all they had was like a hold down, and we're going to wind up the cable and I'll bring it back. Alright, boys and girls, done for this portion of the project. Like I said, I have to get a fair lead. I did see a couple flattened spots, not crimps or kinks in the cable when I wound it in, but when money allows, I'll probably put a synthetic on there, help keep the weight down on the front end here. I would hazard a guess maybe 100 pounds with winch. I didn't weigh it with the cable, but yeah, it's getting there where it's a little bit tricky to put on and off. But got the grade 8 bolts on there. I did switch over to the halogen light force. I disconnected the HID ones. They don't work that well in the yellow shields. The blue light that I had in there ends up being green, and I don't really like it very well. There you go. You can see it's a nice yellow. If I get a chance when I go out to the mountains, I'll take some shots. But just in time for the snow. The other thing I will probably do is down the road I'll try and relocate the solenoid box, and I'll probably get a wireless controller, but this will work for now. I'll give you a little side profile. You can tell it only sticks out about 2 inches past the bumper, so didn't really affect anything. I got it sucked up all the way back to the grill, and should be pretty good.